Hi guys, Dave Pinson here, Philippine Bible Ministry. Separating Christianity from politics. So this may not be what you think it is. This is what I was praying about, and this came to me the other day. Been chewing on it for a couple days, and the reason. So let me just tell you why this happened, and then let me tell you why it's important, and then we'll get into it. So why it happened was I was watching one of my favorite bloggers. I used to call them vloggers. I don't know, whatever it is. But he has his own YouTube channel. Used to work for Fox. One of my favorite guys. I don't agree with everything. By the way, if I tell you that somebody's really awesome and I love what they say, I don't agree with everything he says. I don't agree with everything anybody says. Sometimes I don't even agree with what I say. I have to go, wait a minute, is that right? Let me think about this, right? Because I'm open to certain things. But I love the way he's honest, and I love the way he's. I mean, I think he's actually. I don't think he's playing. I don't think he's trying to get people to watch his channel by being crazy, or because a lot of people do that, especially in sports. Oh my gosh, Justin Herbert's the worst quarterback ever. Justin Herbert's the best quarterback ever. You know, the same guy could say that in a year or whatever. So I don't think he's that, but there's something that he said that really kind of stuck in my craw. Because he was talking with this other guy. They had this interview where they interviewed each other because they both have vlogs. Okay, just recently, you probably know who it is if you follow those guys at all. And they were having this big argument about it was about Israel, and it was about Ukraine, and it was about Taiwan. And the man said this. He said this politically. This is what I'm talking about. He said politically. He says, well, if China takes Taiwan, it's none of my business. I don't care if they take Taiwan. That's part of China. And I thought, no, it's not part of China. So I don't agree with them that it's part of China. And the so yeah, millions of people died. It's a terrible thing, but it's not up to me because we're just looking out for America, and so America is what we look out for, and so we don't care. And so I thought about that, and I thought, you know what? A lot of that, I do agree with some of that, but not all the way. Like it doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter if millions of people. It doesn't matter, because I used to be what they call a neocon, and it made sense to me rationally, and it made sense to me like we need to defend the world because we're the only ones that can, and that's all that thinking, right? And it not necessarily a bad idea, but how does it work out? Here's the part where I agree with them. It doesn't ever work out. How did that work out in Korea? How did that work out in Vietnam? How did that work out in Iraq? How does that ever work out? Or regime changes? How did that work out in Syria? We have so many. We try to do. Maybe we're trying to do the right thing. There's another theory politically. We're talking politics now, not Christianity. Maybe we're doing the right thing, maybe we're not, but at the end of the day, it seems like more people get killed, horrible things happen, and then another regime comes into the White House and they don't follow through with any of the promises anyway. So a lot of people are killed, and it turns out to be a horrible thing for us to interfere and to try to make people good in the world. We can't do that, right? And that's when I thought you had to separate, because this man who was doing the vlog who was saying this, talking about almost sounded like he didn't care millions of people were killed. He does care. He just doesn't think it's America's responsibility. It's a political thing. He's making a political statement because he keeps saying, "Well, I'm a Christian, so I'm a Christian," and this and I thought, well, that's not Christian to think that you don't care about millions of people. So here's where I'm going to draw the line. All right, I think as a Christian, I don't want it to happen, but as an American or as a English person or as an Australian, I have to take care of my country because that's the rules of countries. That's the way it has to be. Everybody takes care of their own, right? So I get it. That's why I'm saying separate, because as a Christian, I can. As a matter of fact, as a Christian, I can go to those places. I could sneak into China if I want to. I'm not going to, but somebody might. I can go to Taiwan and I can try to help those people. I can. There's lots of things I can do. Is I can surrender my life for other people as a Christian, not as a nation, because the words Christian nation is not a reality. I think it will be someday. I believe that when Jesus said, "Make disciples of all nations," He means all peoples. I believe in one day all peoples will be, not all the people in the world, but all people groups will be disciples of Christ in some. I don't know exactly what that means, but I believe it's going to happen. But I don't think it's have happened yet. And, well, America's a Christian nation. Well, I don't know if that was ever true 100%. We had Christian foundings, we have Christian ideas, but people like Thomas Jefferson wasn't really a Christian. Benjamin Franklin wasn't a Christian. And a lot of people are not. George Washington was, but So I think that's where you separate. Say, well, as a Christian, I do this. As an American, I'm okay with this. right? And I think that's where I draw the line. Now, real quick before I close, because a lot of people are going to have these thoughts. Because a lot of people say, well, the current president, 2025, is God anointed and put him in this place to save America. And then other people will say, well, the current president, 2025, is the Antichrist. Seriously, people say both. Um, and here's what I'm going to say: there are moral issues that are Christian issues, like abortion. That's where I draw the line: abortion, and it is what it is. I think it's murdering little tiny people. And so if you're on this side, I'm on okay. If you're on this side, not okay, right? So, but I so the Bible says that all authority has been given to these leaders, all the leaders, even the bad ones, even Putin. God put him in there for a purpose. I don't know what it is exactly. So they're all God's men in a way, right? Like, was Judas doing God's will? Yeah, he was, right? So, you know, at the end of the day, that's sort of a silly thing to say. Did God protect his life? I believe he did. That shooting, that's amazing. No matter what you say, that was an act of God, right? So he's here for a purpose, and I'm not going to argue about that. But here's what I'm going to say: take Christianity out of it. Like, vote for the right people that you trust. I'm not saying that. I'm saying at the end of the day, you are a Christian, not America. They may be disciples of other people someday. I don't know how that works. But you need to worry about yourself. You're the one that stands and answers for the Lord. If God tells you to help the people in the Ukraine, then go over there and help them. Whatever. If God's called you to go, go. Right? People have gone into war zones and helped people. You watch the Free Burma Rangers. My gosh. There's a video called the Free Burma Rangers documentary. Watch it. That's what God calls people to do sometimes. Yes, brother. Right into the war zone. Right? Amazing. But keep your politics separate from your Christianity, because you're the one that has to stand before God. The president's not going to be there with you when you stand at the judgment seat. The Constitution's not going to be there with you when you stand at the judge's seat. All that stuff. Try to think that through, and yeah, that's all I got to say about that. So separate. And as a Christian, I'm against war anyway. So stop the wars and love people and go help them if you feel so led. God bless you guys. That's all for now.